Hello, welcome back to another episode. I have a stack of 9 movies for you today. And sorry if my lighting situation's all fucked up too. I'm actually recording in the morning instead of at night like I normally do. So I got like daylight lighting, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna jump right into it here. Got a few titles to talk about. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, this is the re-release, not the original Justice League. And the first time this movie came out, I thought it was one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen. There's a stack too. This comes with a freaking ton of discs. And didn't think I'd ever watch this thing again. And then they put out this Zack Snyder's Justice League. And although it's not good, I can't say this is like a good movie, but it's a lot funner than that first version. And clocking in at like 4 hours. What's the runtime on this thing? 242 minutes. So, yeah, 4 hours. This is a beast, and it kind of needs to be 2 movies. Okay, I feel like they were trying to ram way too much into one movie. What could have made this better is if they gave all these characters their origin stories in separate films and took their time and weren't so rushy about it. But this 4K looks beautiful, sounds beautiful, helps make the movie a better experience than it was the first time. But I mean, there's still so much to be desired with this. It's a fucking shame. It's a shame because I'm a big DC fan, and I would love for them to, like, I know they're about to restart under James Gunn, and hopefully that, well, I'm not going to judge it until I see the first movie he puts out under part of his new universe, but I want like just a solid DC universe like MCU, just it's like slowing it down, taking its time, not worrying about like 30 movies from now. Just give us one good movie and I'll be happy. But yeah, if you don't have this version of Justice League, you should grab it. It is a marathon. It's a beast. But yeah, give it a try. I actually don't mind most of the cast. Like, I actually like Ben Affleck as Batman. I know that's controversial, but I find it pretty good. But whatever. It is what it is. I would give the first version of Justice League like a 1. This version gets like a 2.5 to 3 from me. Next up here, I have Sleepaway Camp. This is from Scream Factory. Absolute classic in my opinion. It comes with the Blu-ray and the DVD. This is the cheap version. It also has the reversible art as well. The original stuff there. This was like $13 or something. This is pretty cheap for this one. I'm assuming we'll probably get a 4K from them soon. Absolutely love Sleepaway Camp. I remember seeing it when I was young, but I didn't really remember it much. And then when I watched it I watched it about 2.5, 3 years ago with my daughters for the first time. And I didn't remember just how shocking the ending was. And man, I actually think that this is one of the best endings of the 80s. I think it's just the shock value is ridiculous. I think the storytelling that they do throughout it, hinting at who she is. The kills are all pretty, like, demented. I especially like the one where she, like, the guy gets the hot freaking soup poured over top of him and his skin's, like, boiling off. It's freaking nasty. But yeah, Sleepaway Camp. I don't have number 2 and 3 on Blu-ray from Scream Factory, and they're way too expensive now. I'm not willing to pay what people are asking for those. 1983, goodness. Before I was born. Jeez. Yeah, Sleepaway Camp. Definitely give that a watch if you haven't seen it. Some top-notch shit. This next one was just a random watch I threw on because I was bored and felt like some Nicolas Cage. It's The Frozen Ground. This is Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, Vanessa Hudgens is in this. Amongst some more familiar faces. A couple more, I should say, not many. 50 Cent. Based on a true story. It's set in Alaska. What the hell's the name of the serial killer that it's based on? Robert Hansen. Couldn't remember that, blank for a second. It's a serial killer in Alaska that was active for, like, it's not exactly known how long he was active for because they don't know how many victims he actually had in the end. But this guy was sick, fuck. He just raped and brutalized teen girls all the way up to, didn't really matter their ages. He murdered them and dumped them in the Alaskan wilderness. And Nicolas Cage plays the lead detective. John Cusack plays Robert Hansen, the killer. And that's not a spoiler, they tell you that right from the beginning. And it can be a little slow at times, and it feels a little low budget, but it's still pretty creepy and just uncomfortable, and it's just a good thriller. Like it's I don't know, these serial killer based thrillers that are based on true stories, they always have a little bit of a quality to them that I enjoy, and everybody does pretty good. John Cusack makes you feel like he's actually a serial killer. Makes you wonder sometimes when actors can play those roles so well, where when it's done, you're like, I wonder if the FBI should check their apartment. But yeah, Frozen Ground. I'll move on. Just a rando. Bored, so I threw it on. Up next here, I have Blade Runner, on 4K, and Blade Runner 2049 on 4K. I watched both of these back to back yesterday. Just knocked them both off back to back. It's long. It's like 4 hours between the two of them. And these movies are hard for me. I know Blade Runner is like a classic, but like the acting's all really good. I love the storyline. I absolutely love the atmosphere and the cyberpunk world they've created here. I think it's phenomenal stuff. Like on a different level. Just awesome. The feeling of just like robots, and if we start creating robots, will we eventually know who's a robot and who isn't, kind of storyline. It's really well done. It's excellent in every single department, except I found myself very bored. I've seen Blade Runner multiple times. These are two of the like biggest slow burn movies, I would say, like, of all time. It's actually kind of nuts. It's actually kind of crazy just how slow these movies are. Like, it feels like it takes the characters forever to get anywhere, and every scene is drawn out to its absolute limits. Like, oh, it really sucks because, like, I'm still gonna give the original Blade Runner a 4, and this new one's gonna get a 3. But if it had just a little more action, and it's not even that really, it's just some of the scenes, it's hard to explain. Because I don't need every movie to be like this action-packed, like, thrill fest. But with this one, it just seems like every conversation is drawn out way too long. Everything's over-explained. They waste way too much time. And if you narrowed some of that section down, especially in the second one, 2049, if you narrowed some of that section out and just squeezed in a little more action, not a lot, but just a little bit, these would have bumped up in ratings for me because everything else is absolutely phenomenal. Blade Runner 2049 is like one of the best looking and sounding 4Ks in my entire collection. It's actually kind of unreal. And then Blade Runner still has its original grain, but looks beautiful. And then the sound quality has been upgraded in an awesome way. But yeah, I would definitely give both those a chance. If you haven't seen the original Blade Runner, you should probably watch it because it's, I don't know, it just laid the groundwork for so many films to come later. And then, next up here, this is from Umbrella Entertainment. And this is the Super Mario Bros. Movie from the 90s. 1993 to be exact. Starring John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins as Mario and Luigi. And you got Dennis Hopper playing Koopa. And, oh, the Lizard King. How do I'm gonna light a smoke for this one. I loved this movie when I was a kid because I was a huge Nintendo fan and absolutely played the shit out of the Mario series. Sorry about the sirens, I'm recording during the day and it's siren fucking city every day, like probably 20 times a day I get sirens flying past my house. It's fucking crazy. But anyways, absolutely loved and still do to this day, love the Mario series. But this movie, just watched it with my girls. It is an abomination. Hardly any of the jokes land. They, one second. I think it's just the same art on the inside, is it? Yeah, it is. Hardly any of the jokes land. It's freaking so unbelievably cheesy. I would give it like a 1.5. But that's just because of my nostalgia with it. It's probably, to your average person, like a 0.5 star, I'm guessing. It's probably like a 1 out of 10 to some people. But I'll give it a 3 out of 10, a 1.5 out of 5. Just because of my nostalgia with it. If you don't have it, obviously grab it. This Umbrella version is actually quite cheap as well. And don't get tricked either. Umbrella, they always say Region B on the back. But they are not region locked. I don't have a region free player. And all the umbrellas I have say Region B on the back, but they all work in my player. So I'm pretty sure they're all region free. I don't know why they don't put that on there. It's weird. It's an odd thing because it can be a selling point, letting everybody know that, but whatever, because I almost wasn't going to buy it. And then I looked it up. Next up here, This is one of last year's biggest movies. This is Oppenheimer on 4K here. Beautiful sounding and looking 4K. Let's knock that out right off the beginning here. Christopher Nolan. How many people's in this? Emily Blunt, freaking Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Cillian Murphy, Josh Hartnett, Casey Affleck, Rami Malek, Kenneth Branagh, amongst other cameos as well. Just crazy. Crazy stuff. This 4K is 3-disc as well. It's you got the 4K, it comes on the Blu-ray, and then the disc of special features. This one I think was a little overhyped to me. Acting on a different level. Phenomenal stuff. Storytelling, excellent. Loved seeing this biopic. I didn't know anything on Oppenheimer. I knew his name, that he was the one that basically created the atomic bomb. I knew all that stuff, but I didn't know the deep backstory. So this gives you everything about it, and it's unreal story. Like, it's sad. It's extravagant in some spots. Like, it's just well done. But with that said, I was going into this thinking that this was going to be like a 5 out of 5. This is a masterpiece. Like it says right on it, one of the best movies of the century. I know that's only 23 years when this came out, but I don't think it's one of the best movies of the last 23 years. It would be maybe in my top 100, maybe, and probably not. I would give this like a 4. And to somebody that doesn't like slow-paced movies and deep storytelling, it's probably even way less than that. But the biggest disappointment I think I had in this movie is that I have a really good 4K setup in my surround sound, and I was really looking forward to the bomb going off for the first time. And so I cranked my stereo, and then it was pretty weak. I was really disappointed by it. I was like, oh man, I thought it was gonna rumble movies off my wall, basically. But nope, it didn't deliver in that department. But you have to see it. Like, it is a movie you need to see, and it's also like important history. It's good to know this stuff. It's interesting. I love history. But yeah, check out Oppenheimer for sure. 2 left here for today. This is Underwater. This one stars Kristen Stewart and Vincent Cassel. T.J. Miller's a small part in this. For a little bit of a comedy relief, but not much. This one I had never even heard of until about a year and a half ago when I was ranking it on my Instagram for the year I was doing. And it ended up being my number 2 of that year, I believe. Although I'm not a Kristen Stewart fan, I actually think she's pretty awful in almost everything I've seen. Some of them, her acting is just fucking brutal. Like, I honestly don't even know how some people get to be actors. They must have done things to get there or something, because, like, your average person can act as good as her. Like, it's fucking weird. Like, it feels like she's had no training. She has done a couple good roles in the last few years, but for the first decade of her career, it's pretty fucking terrible. Feels so amateur. And she's not terrible in this. It's in the middle. But this movie I didn't love because of its great acting. I loved it because of its awesome underwater scenery. Just the claustrophobia of being trapped underwater. And it's really like Like it's about a crew, and they get trapped in their ship, and it's basically getting slowly filled with water, and they're running out of oxygen, and it's just a claustrophobic panic movie. And then when you find out, I'm not going to ruin this, because if you don't know anything about this movie, don't look into it. Just watch it. And the ending will shock you on where it goes. It's actually pretty freaking cool. I really enjoyed the way where this movie decided to go in the end. Really cool stuff. I guess I can't really say anything else. I was gonna actually talk about it, but I don't want to ruin that ending, because I know it's not like a huge movie that everyone's seen. So I'm guessing, like, I didn't know the ending was coming, and I think that's why I like the movie so much. If it wasn't for, like, if I knew what this movie was about, or I even read the back of the case for that matter. Okay, no, the back of the case doesn't reveal, which is awesome. So it wouldn't have mattered even if I read the back. Yeah, if you don't know anything, just watch this and give it a freaking chance. It's excellent. Really good movie that came out in the last couple of years. What year was this, actually? 2020. And then my last one for this episode. This is from Vestron Video. This is Chopping Mall. One of the greatest titles ever. This is Spine number 1 from Vestron. Still available, I believe. Like, I'm pretty sure you can still pick this up on Amazon. Like, it's not even that overpriced. And you think it would be considering the Spine number 1. But yeah, I bought mine on Amazon not too long ago. It came with a mint condition slipcover, which I thought for sure, like, how's this movie going to come with a slipcover? No reversible art or nothing. But, really infamous movie here. What year did this one come out? 86. Barbara Crampton is probably the most known face. It also has, what the heck is her name? She's the girl from Night of the Comet, which I just did. Can never remember her name. Need to up my knowledge of older movies. I've said in previous episodes too, how awful I am with names. Just brutal. For some reason, the names of people just don't stick in my mind. It's freaking crazy. I can remember insane amounts of shit, but when it comes to people's names, just the worst. But yeah, so you hear this title and you think Chopping Mall. Okay, this is gonna be like a slasher movie that takes place in a mall. That's what you're guessing. And I think it's some of the most, like, misleading art and title in, like, movie history. So it's about a mall that hires a bunch of, well, they don't hire, sorry, they create a bunch of robot security guards. It's another play on, like, robots in the future kind of thing. Be scared of it kind of thing is what they're doing here again. And basically, these robots end up defending the mall. They go bad. They start killing people. And some of the kills are really good. There's quite a bit of funny moments throughout the movie. I don't actually mind it. I actually like that it's so much different than what you're expecting. Like, it could just be another 80s slasher to add to the 300 80s slashers that came out. But instead, they're like, no, let's make it like sci-fi. Like, they're shooting guns at one point, and it's red laser beams coming off of them. Like, it's just some silly ass shit. Great music. Awesome score. Yeah, great kills. But if you go to watch this, just know that you're getting into robots killing teenagers that sneak into a mall after hours. And don't get over excited about it. But yeah, not too bad of a stack. I was a little lackluster. Like, I threw 2 of these in because I didn't watch enough movies the last 2 days, and I had seen a couple of these so many times. I figured I'll slip them in. That was Sleepaway Camp and Zack Snyder's Justice League. I have already watched Zack Snyder's Justice League twice, and it's a 4-hour epic. So there's not much needed to be said. Or I don't need to see that again, to be honest. But yeah, this is a pretty decent little stack, if I say so myself, as I always say. Lots of good stuff here, some great looking 4Ks. Every 4K here actually is freaking top quality, must grab 4Ks. I've been pondering ideas of, I want to do like another yearly ranking in a coming episode. And I don't know what year I feel like doing, so I'm going to be thinking about that. It's probably not going to just be horror, though. If I do another yearly ranking, I think I'm going to do the entire year, all films that I own. And just showcase off an entire year. If anybody in the comments wants to leave a message, jeez, my brain. If you want to leave a comment in the comments and just pick a year even. Give me a year that you would feel like watching me rank, and then also see what I actually have from that year. And I will go through and I will re-watch every single movie, so it might take me a couple of weeks to get that episode out. And in the meantime, I'll just do a couple movies. I might cut back. Like, in the coming episodes, I might only do like 5 movies an episode and do deeper thoughts on each of those movies, just so that I can squeeze in time for all of a year ranking kind of thing. Because it'll take me a couple weeks to watch an entire year's worth of movies. Like, we're probably talking 100 films that I'll be watching. It'll take me a while to do that. But yeah, I'm just pondering some ideas. I enjoy ranking years for some reason, and watching everything from a year. And I don't know, it's just fun to me. I also enjoy collecting years. Like, so if I choose a year, I'll probably buy a whole bunch of titles from that year that I don't have, and slowly just finish off entire years. I find it fun. But yeah, thanks for joining me yet again, and I will talk to you on Monday. Have a good weekend.